Let's look at each level in detail, starting with L1. So level 1 is your factory acceptance test called as FAT, and it's a red tag, right? Testing at the manufacturer's facility, or it can be verification before you're doing anything at the site, before the equipment ships overall. So this is the first line of defense that we have against any defective equipment, right? That is most important. It is much easier, cheaper to fix, as I mentioned, for issues at the factory than the site. And who typically attends this? That are the key stakeholders. The owner's representative is there, CXA witnesses are there for critical FAT items. For major equipment, that is LLE equipments we call it, long lead items, switchgear, transformers, UPSs, witness testing is very important, that is necessary. So for FAT, typically major equipments, witness testing is standard. For smaller equipment, you may accept factory test reports at some point in time if they are smaller and non-critical. What is tested? If you can, I'll give some examples. MV switchgear. In MV switchgear, for example, you will have primary injection testing, relay calibration and settings, interlock operations, hypod testing, and so on. Why does L1 matter? Right? It matters because we have seen projects where FAT was skipped to save time. The result: defective equipment discovered during an L3 energization. That is catastrophic, right? That is criminal, causing weeks of delay while we are waiting for replacement of parts coming from overseas at times. So that's the key takeaway, I would say. During the FAT, what kind of documentation is required? Each of this testing will generate documentation: factory test reports, type tests, routine test certificates, calibration certificates, QA/QC sign-offs, photographs, and so on. So there is humongous amount of documentation which is generated, and you might have 50 to 100 FAT reports for every kind of data center stage that you will have to track and organize. Okay. So now once the equipment passes FAT and arrives on site, that's when we move on to the L2 stage.